Hello my friends, this is the second video of my YouTube channel where I will explain the cure for chronic urticaria by the traditional Chinese medicine. In my first video I introduced myself and made general considerations about healing the urticaria chronic forms by the traditional Chinese medicine, as well as made general considerations about chronic urticaria. I finished my first video with three main statements that I told I would explain in this second video. 1. Urticaria is not a disease. 2. Urticaria is not an allergy. And the third, people think that urticaria is a bad thing, but in fact it is not. In fact, it is a good thing. This point sounds really surprising and maybe kind of weird. And because of that, in my previous video, I promised to explain this point in detail for that to be very well understood. It is really not a disease. It's just a symptom of internal imbalances we have and don't know. These organ inner imbalances are caused by negative emotions. I will speak of the 7 emotions theory in traditional Chinese medicine, which I will refer to later in this video and in future videos of my channel. For traditional Chinese medicine, urticaria is an excess of inner heat. This excess of inner heat may be due to an excess of yang, which is heat or something that rises heat, or to a lack of yin, which is the cold energy or something that cools up. In Chinese medicine, this deficiency is called empty yin. In fact, it is a good thing, because it is an alarm signal that not everyone is lucky enough to have. The process is the next. As I explained in the previous point, negative emotions create imbalances in the internal organs that, despite not yet being sick, they start to lose some capacity in their performance. So if the situations that bring us these negative emotions are kept, if nothing is done to change them, and if nothing is done to correct these internal imbalances created by emotions, as I explained, yes, the organs keep going in this degradation process until they become ill for real. Regarding people having urticaria, this process of being affected by emotions makes inner organs not to fulfill their functions of filtering, flushing toxins, liquids circulation, digestion, among other functions we have. This creating an internal heat source, either because the yin cold energy is low or because some organs become overactive and consequently rise heat, which is also yang. It is known that heat makes water disappear. This way, the water emergency alert mechanism is activated. However, not all of us have it, or also not all people start the alert mechanism in the same degree of water deficit, and consequently on the same moment. One of the roles of histamine is, in situations of chronic dehydration, to mix with water that is storage in deep areas of our body and bring it to the surface zones of the body and redistribute it in an equitable way to cool the body. In this situation, there is an uncontrolled release of histamine in terms of quantity. This is the famous process, and very well known, of mast cells degranulation. Mast cells are the reservoirs of histamine. In this situation, they explode. It is because of this process of warning water emergency that does not happen in all people. That I say that urticaria is something good and not bad. Whoever has it, it is being warned of a number of imbalances that is still, and it's still on time to be corrected. Those who do not have it move on without realizing that they are internally unbalancing themselves, and one day they might have a sudden illness such as cancer or a heart attack or other pathology that typically manifests itself suddenly. In conventional medicine, urticaria is divided in two types: acute and chronic. The acute form lasts for 6 weeks. From that period on, it is considered chronic urticaria. This period of 6 weeks is theoretically the time that a toxin or some food or nutrient that causes allergy needs to be identified and eliminated from the diet or from the objects that are touched by the patient in his daily life. In the case of chemicals, for example, going back to Chinese medicine, even this 6 week period, even when some food or chemical product is identified as causing the reaction of urticaria or the outbreak, this is not seen as a proven allergic problem. In fact, the red line of internal heat is considered to have been reached. When this supposed element is removed from the patient's life, the yang, which is the heat, gets lower and the hives gets weaker. In addition, if the process of rebalancing the energies of cold and heat, activity and rest, which is yin and yang, if it continues to be done through acupuncture, diet, emotional guiding, and life correcting, as well as with all the traditional Chinese medicine resources, until the balance is completely re-established, the excess of inner heat disappears, the water level and liquid circulation returns to normal, the body's yin energy goes up. In face of this, the water no longer disappears, so the mast cells no longer degranulate, and urticaria disappeared, so the person is healed. Also, for Chinese medicine, the heat rises because of the negative emotions that unbalance the internal organs. In face of this, it is difficult to accept that the 6 weeks period means allergy. In fact, it means nothing, zero. It is considered that it is the previous period on the life of each person that brought the person to a level where the heat is very close to the limit. For Chinese medicine, although it is accepted that some products or foods can cause allergy, this thing called allergy only happens because the accumulated imbalances over the years have brought to the body to a level of short tolerance to products or foods that are young, heat, or rise up the heat energy. Summarizing, urticaria is a good thing because it is an alert mechanism that not everyone is lucky enough to have, and this mechanism tells us that we are not living according to what we really want in our lives or according with our essence. For example, anger and worriness are not in our essence. We should live our lives without having these emotions. In Chinese medicine, negative emotions are considered to unbalance the inner organs, the way I'm going to explain you now. Anger and revolt affect the liver. Sadness and regret affect the lung. Fear and anxiety affect the kidney and the large intestine. Worry or worriness and repeated thinkings affect the spleen. And excessive joy, like people that laugh in funerals, which is not normal, affects the heart. And rage and fury, the stomach. I will make a note here. There are other opinions that misregard the rage and fury as acting on the stomach and reunite this organ with the same emotions for the liver or spleen. But this theory disconsiders the stomach, and I cannot agree with that. These theories replaced rage and fury by shock and dread as affecting the kidney and heart. But in my humble opinion, the kidney has already been related to fear and anxiety. Shock or dread is just a matter of degree of intensity because they happen suddenly. I will make now another note, and I will explain to tell you that I will explain these emotions organs relation in a more detailed way on my next video. Summarizing, the unbalances of the inner organs caused by negative emotions create empty yin, which is the lack of cold energy. This is very clear, for example, on cholinergic urticaria, and make the body to reach the excess of inner heat, which causes urticaria. Once again, the cholinergic. I will explain why heat causes urticaria outbreaks in a more detailed way and by other different perspectives inside the traditional Chinese medicine in future videos. Now it's time to say goodbye. I hope you liked this video and watch my next videos that already appear on the screen. Please also put your like on my videos and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also join my Facebook group, Urticaria, crónica, cura pela medicina tradicional chinesa, and follow my blog, chronicurticariacure.com, where you can register in the discussion forum and post your urticaria case so that I can answer when your turn comes up. Below I leave the links so you can follow me. Until my next video, thank you all. Stay safe.